Welcome all of my corporate professionals. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what to do when the interviewer doesn't show up to the scheduled meeting. Yes, believe it or not, there are instances where interviewers actually don't show up for meetings that they've scheduled with candidates. Now, if you end up in a situation like this, it can be very frustrating for you. And a lot of thoughts will be going on in your head as to why this interviewer just didn't show up. And it can get you to a very emotional state. However, how you go about it is very important in maintaining your sanity and making sure that you don't create any tension. So, the first tip to handle such a situation is to not take it personally. Because a lot of the times there are actual reasons why the interviewer has turned up late, which has nothing to do with you. So, let's get into those reasons. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. None of these reasons are excusable, but there's still reasons all the same. So the first and sometimes the most common reason is sometimes they're just running really late that they actually go over the scheduled time. So this can happen and they end up missing the whole appointment altogether, way over the time for the meeting. So that's the first reason. Another reason is they got really busy and they simply forgot. Usually, when they finally remember, then they contact you back to reschedule another meeting. Again, not excusable. The next reason is unforeseen circumstances, such as, they randomly fall sick, and let's say they didn't get the opportunity to tell you that they couldn't make it to the meeting. So that's another reason that could happen. And the final reason, which is, yes, the one we've all been dreading, is they've changed their mind about you. Ooh, yeah. This can happen for a variety of reasons. So the first one could be, let's say after their first initial call with you, they decided that they don't think you're a good fit, or after assessing some of your details, they realize that maybe you're not someone that they want to move to the second stage of interview. Secondly, they might have found someone that is more qualified and stopped the whole hiring process, and then, yes, not turned up for the interview with you, which is a really bad practice for an interviewer. They should, call you and tell you, okay, we've changed our mind and you've been unsuccessful. They shouldn't just leave you hanging like that. But yes, sometimes that could be the reason why they do that. And thirdly, is they find something new about you that doesn't align with their values. So let's say they might have gone on your social media and maybe found some pictures of you or some views that you shared that just didn't align with their company or things of that nature, and then they decide just not to turn up to the interview. Make sure you clean up your social media. Before I go any further, if you're job searching right now and find that you're getting to the interview stage, but you're facing constant rejection after multiple interviews, you're not getting anywhere and you're not getting any job offers, then I have the thing for you. The thing is, most people are actually qualified for the positions that they're interviewing for, which is why they're called for the interview in the first place. The problem happens when they don't have enough confidence at the interview. So I have a free interview confidence webinar teaching people like you how to have the confidence at the interview in order to land the job that you want. I'll leave the link below. Okay, so now let's get into what you should do in the situation where the interviewer doesn't show up for the meeting. So in the first instance, what I usually advise doing is waiting at least 15 to 20 minutes from the scheduled appointment. I say this because a lot of the time it is a case where the interviewer is running late. Now, I want to emphasize on really waiting this period out, especially if it's something like a Zoom meeting, for example, or even a face-to-face meeting. A mistake that a lot of candidates make is sometimes after like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they're like, right, that's it, I'm gone, right? And what happens in a situation like that is, let's say 15 minutes later, the interviewer does turn up and you've already left. it doesn't give them a good impression of you. It makes you look like you're an impatient person, especially if it's something like a Zoom meeting and you've already like logged out of the Zoom meeting, for example. So try and leave it for the whole 20 minutes. So the second tip is if after 30 minutes the interviewer has not turned up, it's probably safe to say that they're not going to show up at all. So in this case, it's the optimum time to follow up. In regards to the follow-up, I usually advise using the mode of communication that you've used frequently with the interviewer. So if you guys have mainly been communicating via phone calls, then you can call the interviewer. Or if most of your communication has been via email, then it will be better to email the interviewer about it. Now, wait a minute, pause for a second. You have to make sure that you're in the right headspace before you follow up, because if you're still in an emotional state of being frustrated and angry at the fact that, you know, the interviewer missed the appointment, then it might come across in your tone when you follow up, whether that's on the phone or on email. And that's the last thing that you want to sound like, is angry when you're on a call or email with the interviewer. So make sure that you take some time and gather your thoughts and make sure that you're in the right headspace before you do the follow-up. You need to be aware of the aim, okay? So the aim the aim here is not to ask why the interviewer didn't turn up, or, you know, berate him for not turning up, or seeking an apology at the fact that he didn't turn up. Aim here is simply to reschedule the meeting. The first thing you want to do in the follow-up is simply remind the interviewer of who you are and the fact that you had a scheduled appointment with them. The second thing you want to do is inform them that you didn't, for example, receive the call. Now, you really want to watch your tone here. You don't want to say it in an accusatory type of way. You just want to say it in a matter-of-fact way that, you know, you didn't manage to receive a call. And then the third thing you want to do is suggest another time that you are available to reschedule the meeting. Now, if you're doing this via phone with the interviewer, then it's probably best to wait to hear the interviewer's explanation as to why they couldn't make it before you suggest some dates that you're available. Usually at this time, the interviewer will take the lead and probably suggest a date for another meeting for the both of you. But if it's via email, then definitely go ahead and suggest some dates and wait for the interviewer to get back to you. So if you still want guidance on how to do the follow-up effectively, then here's an example that you can use. So in this example, the person starts off by saying, "Hello," and then the name of the person. "I'm just reaching out because I had an interview with you scheduled by phone at," and then they mention the name of the time, which is 1 p.m. Okay. Then they go on to say, "I'm sure you were busy, but nobody contacted me and I wanted to see if we could reschedule." So here, as you can see, the tone is not accusatory. It's just the person saying, you know, we were supposed to have a meeting. They even give an excuse for the person to make it more light-hearted, which shows very strong emotional maturity. And they then go on to then schedule the time by saying, "I'm free anytime from 3 to 4, Wednesday and Thursday, thank you." So try using this script if you're ever in a situation where the interviewer doesn't show up for the meeting. It's a sure way to show your emotional intelligence and maturity to the interviewer, and the interviewer will have a more likable view of you as a person and see you as more of a cultural fit. Now, as well as interviewers not showing up for interviews, another main issue that a lot of job seekers face is interviewers ignoring you after you've attended job interviews and you're waiting ages for feedback and they're not getting back to you. So I have another video on how to handle being ignored by recruiters and how to avoid it. Watch that video if that's something you're facing. That brings me to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, then like and comment below what tips you will be following from it. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel for everything job related and how to pass interviews to get the job that you really want. I'll see you in the next video.